Congress came to a compromise on New Year's Day over the fiscal cliff situation, in a deal that has left both sides somewhat unsatisfied. The Republicans accepted a tax on the wealthiest Americans, but pushed the tax threshold up to individuals making $400,000 annually. President Obama was adamant about stopping tax increases for the middle class.
In the face of looming deadlines that would have taken a big chunk out of everyone's bottom line, you know my top priority has been preventing a tax hike that would have hit 98% of all Americans in 2013. Because the last thing middle-class families can afford right now would be to pay upwards of $2,000 more in taxes this year. And thanks to so many of you, because you made your voices heard throughout this debate, we've stopped that middle-class tax hike.
The deal did not take care of every looming financial crisis, however, and instead pushed back the deadline on the issues of the debt ceiling and a continuing budget resolution. Overall, the new legislation will add nearly $4 trillion to the national deficit over the next 10 years that would have not been added if all of the tax cuts were allowed to expire. Yibing He, John Berge, ICN, San Francisco. A few new traffic laws have taken effect at the start of the year in California, related to many important issues, including texting while driving, red light cameras, and party buses. Drivers are now permitted to text while driving if they're using a voice-activated hands-free device to dictate, send, or listen to text messages. Red light cameras have been regulated so that there needs to be a sign announcing the camera within 200 feet of the intersection. Party buses are now by law required to have a chaperone who makes sure that there is no underage drinking going on. These new traffic laws are just some of the many new laws in California that begin with the new year. Yibing He, John Berge, ICN, San Francisco. British soccer star David Beckham is reportedly in contract talks with Chinese Super League team Shanghai Shenhua, after he announced last month he is quitting U.S. club LA Galaxy. This new deal could net him $404,000 a week and $32.2 million in merchandising deals. Sources close to Beckham say that he loves the idea of playing in China and the challenges he would face there. The Shanghai Shenhua begins its new season in March, and Beckham is expected to make his decision sometime next month. Yibing He, John Berge, ICN, San Francisco. Minimum wage in San Francisco has risen to $10.55 an hour, making it the highest in the entire United States. The minimum wage is tied to local inflation rates and has risen steadily since the local minimum wage law was passed by voters 10 years ago. The current federal minimum wage is $7.25. There are many groups who disagree over whether a minimum wage so high helps or hurts low-income workers and employers. Industry lobbyists complain that the minimum wage makes it too costly to hire new staff, especially with the city's mandated healthcare spending, and employees say that even with the increase, the city is still far too expensive to live in. Yibing He, John Berge, ICN, San Francisco. The National Population and Family Planning Commission issued an announcement in December about a new policy to streamline the process of issuing a birth permit. The policy should make it easier for migrant workers to get the required paperwork before the births of their children. The Year of the Snake is expected to bring a surge of new births, and the new parents will benefit from the saved time and money that the new policy brings. The NPFPC says that the policy will take some time to come in place, but they will be doing whatever they can to make sure as many families benefit from it as possible. Yibing He, John Berge, ICN, San Francisco.